So basically, what's been going on in the world of the simulation television networks is that nobody watches them. Okay, so basically, you'll have a show like on CNN that'll the Nielsen ratings, and the Nielsen ratings are fake, and they've been fake, and I've been reporting this and screaming this loud and clear since 25 years ago when I tried to visit the booth at the NATPE show, the National Association of Television Programming Executives, because I was in that business for a little while. And I went to, and you go to that big convention and you see all these television companies, but when you get to the Nielsen booth there's no doors. It was just a big wall you couldn't get into. Why? Because Nielsen ratings is fake. It's always been fake. It's been fake since the television industry totally collapsed many decades ago. Collapsed. Okay, so back in the day of the 1950s and 60s and stuff, people like Walter Cronkite used to get tens of millions of viewers a night, man, for their show, right? Anderson Cooper, these douchebags on CNN, these total scumbags like Aaron Burnett or Don Lemon or whatever. The Nielsen ratings, the fake Nielsen ratings, right? Totally fake, right? They're not real, okay? They will report somewhere between 500,000 viewers to like 1 point something million a night. That's nothing. That is shit audience, man. But realize that is fake too. So that's even really generous to these scumbags. They're not getting that, okay? So even if they were getting that, that's nothing. That's no audience, man. That doesn't justify their budget, doesn't justify the buildings, the networks. It's a completely fictional number, all right? So where's the money coming from? Well, U.S. taxpayers are subsidizing it against their will. How could this be? How could the U.S. taxpayers be subsidizing CNN? Well, here's how it works. The military-industrial complex has television commercials on CNN. Right? They're not really television commercials. They're like Northrop Grumman will have a commercial for their stealth bomber. But the last time I checked, I didn't have enough money to buy a fucking stealth bomber because Northrop Grumman doesn't make consumer products. So if there's a 30-second ad on there or a public service announcement, that's called propaganda. It's called war profiteering propaganda is what that is. And guess where the money comes from Northrop Grumman? Your taxpayers' dollars, right? From the military budget. And then it goes to CNN, and then CNN promotes war, and then they give the money back to CNN, and then a little bit to the congressman. The congressman makes sure CNN gets the money, and it's this big circle jerk, and you get fucked up the ass, right? So, and here's another thing that I've been saying since mid-1990s, okay? No one is watching fucking television except the very dumbest of the dumb. The really stupid people. Okay, so what you'll have is, the poorest of the poor, the dumbest of the dumb, the oldest of the old. Okay, so, and those are not mutually exclusive. Okay, so what I'm saying is that Don Lemon does not have the numbers that Nielsen is saying that they have. No way, no how, not in a million years. Nobody watches that dick. What's his name? Brian Stelter? That fucking total dick. No one watches that fucking dick. He's a total dick. No one cares about what Brian Stelter says. No one. Zero. And here's the thing. When it gets down to the point where there's absolutely no evidence that not a single, here's a hypothetical person. Okay. Say for example, you had a very small numbers of mental defects who watch Brian Stelter. Okay, so say a couple hundred people watch him every night, all right? And of those couple hundred people that actually watch that fucking stupid, fat, retarded, bald, dumb, fucking dickhead, right? Maybe 20% of those aren't in airports. Why they push it in airports, because they want to get that Nielsen numbers up so they can rip advertisers off, right? Because advertisers here, hint, hint, advertisers, don't waste your fucking money on CNN. Well, they don't have to because it's not really advertising. It's a charity. So that's why when you see like ads, when you see like 30-second spots for like Monsanto or like Northrop Grumman or Raytheon or whatever, fucking you'll actually see this shit for what's the other one? The Dick Cheney's company. Oh fuck, I forgot the name of that those scumbags. But that's a charity. That's a U.S. taxpayer funded. So it's subsidized CNN. That's the only reason they can afford to stay in business, right? Because nobody watches them. Okay? So then, say you have a couple hundred people that watch that dick Brian Stelter. Total dick, right? Of those 40, a couple hundred people, maybe a couple, 10, 20% of them are old people, old age homes where people that's in the lobby and people are sleeping. So they're not even watching that. It's in airports, so nobody's watching because they're walking to their flight. And they'll put it in some kind of kiosk somewhere to get those numbers up. But no one watches it. So here's a hypothetical. Say all these shows, all these TV shows, because this, you got to understand, TV is very important because that is the lattice work with which the ruling power structure drapes its agenda on, right? And through osmosis, literally through osmosis, that agenda, even though it's insignificant, even though no one fucking watches it or pays attention, that agenda still is able to maintain its grip on the American people. Okay, and it's this osmotic process that it works. How does this work? You know, you're walking by an appliance store and you glance in there and you see this fucking some chrome dome douchebag dickhead like Brian the Dick Chrome Dome Stelter on, and you just glance by as you walk by and you throw your hands in the air and go, oh well, I guess those people still have some kind of power. Well, here's the prick, the delusional bubble. They don't. They only have power because they're able to trick a small portion of the population, maybe only 20%, into believing that they have the power. And when do they do that? At that time when the person walks by the appliance store and sees it, or walks by some bar and sees it playing on the inside, or by a deli and it's on in the deli or the doctor's office, and they say, okay, well, there's that edifice of bullshit. There's that fucking chrome dome dickhead. What's his name? Brian Seltzer, you know? So I guess that whole paradigm of power still exists. It doesn't. It's complete fucking fiction. So here's the point. That if the last final person who watched it, right, because finally died, and no one was watching, not a single person was watching, like the Chris Cuomos of the world and the Anderson Cooper CIA agents of the world, these fucking idiots, right? No one was watching it, and it was proven. Everybody looked at each other and said, do you watch CNN? They said, no. Do you watch CNN? No. Do you know anybody watch it? No. Everybody, let's make an announcement with bullhorns, you know, because don't expect Google to help you out with this one. Anybody watch CNN out there? No. You get no, not a single person left in the world watches CNN, right? Guess what? They would still have their fucking shows, and Erin Burnett would be up there with her eyebrows, because that's how Erin Burnett does the news. She puts the incredulous look in her eyebrows, and it's, you look at the brow ridge forehead on that fucking twat, and then with Chrome Dome Stelter, it's his Chrome Dome, you know, I guess, which imparts a sense of whatever, news authority or whatever. With Don Lemon, it's because he's such a goofy fuck and he's hoping that you're as dumb as he is, right? With Chris Cuomo, it's, I don't know what it is with that guy. He's a fucking total goombats, okay? Goomba. And so that's why that Goomba Chris Cuomo made the announcement. It's like, oh, I never like to do that anyways. You know, I'm sick or tired of doing things I don't want to do. No. You are very happy doing this. So you don't get a ticket, dumb fuck. You piece of shit, Cuomo. You fucked up. You lied all these years. You think you could get away with saying, oh, I'm sick of lying for the Zionist news network. You piece of shit. It doesn't work like that. It's like, otherwise every rapist will go, well, I was raping all these years, but I decided I'm not going to rape anymore. It doesn't work like that, motherfucker. You're a fucking rapist. You drove the getaway car for the ruling power structure. You're totally like certified piece of shit, Cuomo, right? Chris Cuomo, and your brother too, by the way. Your family is a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit, okay? So fuck your career, fuck your future, and fuck your dreams of a podcast in your post-CNN days, dick, okay? You're a fucking, nobody should care about your ass because you're a dumb fuck. I think you have a low IQ too, my friend. So here's the thing. He knows that something's going up with that network, right? He knows that there's no ratings there, that the ratings is fictitious. So he knows that nobody actually watches his dumb ass, right? And so that's why he's plotting an exit strategy so he can maybe have a podcast on YouTube or something like that and trying to do a deal with YouTube and watch that piece of shit Chris Cuomo have a YouTube podcast like Anderson Cooper had, and they throw all these millions of dollars to promote it, and Facebook promoted Anderson Cooper, and nobody gave a shit. But of course, after they fake you out and say, oh yes, a lot of people do give a shit because everything is fiction. Everything is fake. So when a TV show says, oh yes, lots of people watch it, that's fake. That's a lie. When Google says, oh yeah, a lot of people watching, a lot of people read Vox.com, not my Vox.com, the Zionist GE supported Vox.com. I'm Vox News, the original one, not this Zionist garbage, this Israeli Zionist bullshit disguised as liberalism. That's Vox.com. Vox.com is hyper-militaristic, Zionistic militaristic oppression disguised under a gender-friendly fucking facade. Sorry, Vox.com is a fucking totally Zionist, militaristic piece of neoconservative shit, and all those scumbags pretending that they're liberal because they, like I say, wear this patina of like gender friendliness. No, Vox.com is the scum of the earth. Please understand that. Well, it's going to be the same with like the Chris Cuomos of the world. He's going to try to get a podcast because he knows that CNN is going to tank. And just like Time Warner is going to tank eventually. But it doesn't mean that the military-industrial complex is going to stop. When nobody watches CNN again, when there's no viewers at all, you'll see they don't even have a dumb fuck to go into a studio audience, because that's who goes into studio audiences. Television studio audience is full of some of the dumbest fucks on the planet. I remember because I worked at Unitel and Editel in the 90s in New York City. I was I had a position. I was an editor and I had a position there, I knew the hierarchy in there, and I had free run of that place, and I saw the studio audience, and they produced all these shows. Like they produced like the Gordon Elliott idiot, whatever, and they produced like fucking Rush Limbaugh, that fucking asshole, took a shit on his desk once, and then they had all these studio audiences that would like queue up to go into these shows, and these were the biggest fucking dumb fucks on the earth. Right? So studio audience. So when they run out of these dumb fucks, right? When they can't even get a dumb fuck for a studio audience, they'll have 3D digital dumb fucks that they'll have. So like I say, it's important for the ruling power structure to keep the fiction going, that there's actually this like television audience, a studio audience, because they like poured so much of their, years and years and years of this edifice of artificiality and of power have been built through the television networks. And when they see that collapsing, they're in a state of panic. And so they'll do anything to keep the illusion alive that there's people that actually watch it. So they'll have like fake rating systems, or they'll buy Nielsen. Actually, Nielsen company was purchased by a shadowy Dutch company back in the late 90s, something like that. And nobody knew who the company was. There was no information about it. You couldn't audit the Nielsen. It's fake. It's totally fake. And why? Because They had to pump the numbers up. They had to keep the advertising revenue flowing. They had to keep advertisers under the illusion that this is how they sold their products. They had to keep the American people under the illusion. And yes, there were some people still watching it. But now this is the secret. There's very, very, very few people, and they're dying. They're getting old. The median age of television viewers has been going up and up and up and up each year. So it was like 65. 60, the average viewer 67, 69, and then 70, and then the average, you plot out the chart, and the average a viewer of a television is going to be postmortem, that they'll be in the graves, literally in the graveyards watching this shit, or not. CNN won't be at airports anymore. It'll be at graveyards, because everyone will be dead that used to watch that dog shit show, and those fucking retards like Chrome Dome Stelter. All right? So that's the truth about television. It doesn't exist. So why do we continue year after year to allow this dead medium to control the zeitgeist? How could this be? Well, I said it's this like osmotic process. You don't have to watch the television, and you hear when you talk to people, you say, oh, come on, you watch too much television. They say, no, I don't watch it at all. I don't have a television on. More and more people like that, and I don't think they're lying and that they're secretly watching television. I don't think so. I think they're really being honest, and nobody watches this fucking garbage anymore. It's an embarrassment to do it, right? But we're told, and we are going to be continuously told for many, many years, oh yes, everybody's watching it, and oh yes, don't you know, we have big audiences, and look at this rating, and the Thursday, and the spring Nielsen's came out, and Rachel Maddow's doing real well, and Don Lemon took a slight dip, but maybe next quarter Don Lemon will do good, and Anderson Cooper's on the rise, and Bill O'Reilly's gone because he's a fucking rapist, and Tucker Carlson's doing okay because he's the first guy in the history of Fox News that wasn't a complete piece of shit, right? But although he gets it wrong a lot of times. And then, and they play this game and they say, oh, yes, the ratings are going up. No, they're going down. Oh, oops, spring. Oh, the Thursday night primetime. Oh, the primetime slot, it's down and up. Yeah, no, it's down. Get it through your fucking head. It's down. Nobody watches that shit. The real Nielsen ratings are fake. All the ratings are fake. All the shows are fake. The popularity that they claim they have is fake. The popularity that people like Bill Gates has is fake. Nobody likes him. Get the fuck out. Bill, shut the fuck up. We don't like you. Why are you trying to push your shit on us? We hate your fucking guts. We do not trust you. No one trusts you. And so what do? Google's now in the same game as Nielsen. Oh, yes, all these people support Bill Gates. Oh, we have to block these people, these anti-vaxxer peoples, because they're just, loony conspiracy nuts. No. Anti-vaxxers are the majority, motherfuckers. Oh, no. Everybody thinks people that don't like vaccinations are kooky. Everybody thinks that, they're telling us. Well, no, not exactly. We don't trust you sticking your dick in us. We don't want you sticking your needle in us. We don't want you fucking us up the fucking ass. We want you to stay the fuck away from us. We were doing fine before your pandemic came along, and we'll do fine without your needle in our arm, because we don't know what's in that fucking needle, Gates and Trump and Fauci, that fucking creep Fauci, you fucking piece of shit. Oh, yes. Oh, he's America's doctor. Oh, the most trusted man in the world. Oh, yes, he's the father of medicine. He's a weapons designer, bioweapons designer. Try to find it on Google. Because it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to find out on Google that Fauci's principal role at the NIAID or NIAID was bioterror weapons design. That's what he did for the last 30 years, and you can't find a mention on it on Google. Isn't that odd? No mention of it. You certainly not in the first 20 pages of search results. There's an article from the Wall Street Journal from about 2005 that's behind a paywall. Right? Go get that one. I urge people to get that article and start posting the contents of it so people can read. There's a lot of scientists that are saying, what the fuck is Fauci up to? Fauci had the opportunity to move up to be the head of the NIH, which is the mother of the NIAID, and he said no. Why? Because he was making way too much money on bioweapons. Because he, as a bioweapons designer in the subsidiary division, he had hundreds of millions of dollars at his disposal to dole out to his friends in the pharmaceutical business to make vaccines for weapons that he designed. So he designs the dangerous hyperpathogenic virus, and then as a weaponized viruses, basically, he designs the bioterror weapons, and then he gives hundreds of millions of dollars out to his friends to make vaccines for the bioterror weapons that he designs. And then people say, well, scientists say, well, all these weapons designs that you're doing are against the bioterror. Biological Weapons Convention of 1972 and 1989. So what gives there? Oh no, it's just research. We're not developing weapons. You know, nobody believes any of these people. We don't like them. We don't give them our consent. We are not watching their programs. We are not believing their government. We are not believing their experts. They're all lying. And we don't believe Google searches, because Google searches are lies now. Twitter is blocking access to anything that's truthful, right? You're getting a lot of, you'll get some truthful stuff, but you're getting blocked a lot of stuff. Facebook is almost a complete blackout now on anything that's truthful. So, we don't. So some people are stuck on these and in these paradigms. But by and large, if you look at the polls, independent polls are saying we do not trust it. We don't trust the media. We don't trust our government. And that's not even a controversial statement. That's a fact. That's a fact. They talk about it. Even they can't deny that they are unliked by us. They do the polls and they say, Jesus, trust in the government is down or way low. And we've been talking about this now for 25 years. It's been low. And trust in the media, the two biggest establishments in this country, media and politics, we don't trust them. All right? So the only answer is almost like a general strike, just cut them off. We don't go along with this. That I hate politicians, but I like my local politician. No, your local politician is a piece of slimy shit too, just like all of them. Okay, so hate your politician, hate the Washington politicians, hate the media. Unless you have hate for these people, they are going to control your life. They are going to put needles into your children. They are they are sexual predators. That's what this vaccination is. It's a sexual fetish to get a needle into your skin and into the skin of your newborn child. They're sick. These people are sick. Your government is sick. Zuckerberg is sick. The owners of the giant tech companies are sick pieces of shit. They deserve only to be reviled, our repulsion. All right. Good luck.